All right, it's an hour and a half of Worst in Tech. Yes, it is the Bill and Phil Show. How many years now? Maybe 20? I don't know.
Oh,
a lot.
At least 20, yeah.
And we changed our theme a little bit from last year. I know we lost a lot of fans. We can tell from the turnout.
I'm still saying last year pandemic related.
Oh, Bill. No, yeah, that's weird. We'll blame it on the pandemic. We talked about the metaverse last year, and a lot of people were going, what the hell are these guys done now? We thought we'd lost our mind, and we had.
Maybe,
right?
yeah, a little bit. It was a little bit out there.
So we tried now. We're going to get back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
And because the basics for us is BS, right?
Exactly, pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So here we go, back to the basics. What are we going to talk about there, Slick?
All right, I'm going to try to get this thing to
Can't
work.
even get it. You just hit, no, just hit the button.
Yeah.
Nothing works.
Nothing works.
Now try.
Okay.
Nope.
Back to the basics. Back to the basics. Getting a mouse to work. Yeah,
I think
exactly.
we do. This is a Mac. Whoops.
There we go. We'll do that.
This
All right.
So from the first part of this slide applies to me. Simple. Okay,
it was sort of a throwback, Bill, to the days when tech was simple. Remember, way back there when you were a young attorney.
No, I wasn't even then. But that middle part there, you've got mail. I can remember we had a partner, and his computer kept saying, because we had an AOL at the time, and he kept going, "You've got mail," and he kept going out to the mailbox. And we're going, "No, man, you got mail." So that was where it started, but it worked, right?
Yeah, and
faxes work.
As we started getting new technology back in the 2000s, whatever, it was fun. It's like everybody's, this is kind of cool. Practicing law using technology, it makes our life easier. It's fun. And then one day we woke up, Bill, and we're here on this third quadrant of this is really getting complex. And I think that's where we were last year when we talked about the metaverse.
We were past
there are so many options out there. There's so many ways to do things. There are so many apps. For crying out loud, I can't even order Chick-fil-A without going to my app now, pulling out my phone.
Or a QR code.
Or a QR code or whatever. And so it's just kind of blowing my mind. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that. And so I thought this year, let's just talk about some things that are simple to use, useful, but they're simple.
And fun.
And fun.
Like how many of you out here ever had a Palm Pilot? Anybody here? AJ, you have one?
Oh, yeah.
See, I miss my old Palm Pilot.
Yeah.
So nobody else had one. You had to attach a little antenna to it. It was really...
No apps. It was just this.
No, it was just this.
Just that.
But it was so classy looking.
Well, I think we may be on something, Bill, because I was reading an article the other day in Futurism, and it was talking about Gen Z is apparently baffled by simple technology because we've made everything so complex. When you say, you know what, can you just go make 5 copies, front and back, and staple these? And this article talks about, they're like, whoa, I don't know how to do that. I mean, they are baffled by simple technology. And so I think that's a key sign for us that we need to kind of get back to the basics.
Because a lot of the Gen Zers, they had no idea what we were talking about the metaverse last year.
That's true.
So now we've lowered it down for the lowest common denominator, those young, stupid people.
Well, I didn't say that, but anyway.
Okay.
So the theme for this year is tech simplicity is the key. And so 4 different areas we're going to talk about. Number 1, and I think most importantly, particularly for people that, just regular people that are trying to get their job done, we want a simple learning curve. I don't want to have to go to a class for a week to learn how to use your software. I just don't. I want to be able to pick it up and intuitively pick it up or very quickly be able to adapt. So we're going to show you some technology that is very useful, it's very current, but it's simple to use.
Because I need that.
We want, Bill, something to simplify your work, and more importantly, simplify your assistant's work.
And we always try to maintain stuff that is totally legal technology related.
Yeah.
Just like the next slide.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Simple learning curve. That was this one.
Isn't that legal tech right there? No.
But it's simple to use.
But it's simple to use because isn't this cool? It's a bird feeder, okay? And you don't have to get out your Audubon book and see what bird is feeding, because it identifies the damn bird.
That's pretty
and
cool.
And sends you a picture of it, and it sorts all your pictures by birds.
Yeah.
Huh?
Very cool.
You like it?
Bird Buddy. This was at CES this year, and you really don't have to have any kind of learning curve to use
it. Does it all for you.
Now, this really is serious and is an important step in smart home or smart office technology. There are all kinds of smart home gadgets you can get. Things for your thermostat, your lights, your smart speakers, your smart refrigerator, smart appliances, everything. The problem has been is that everybody has their own version of it. So this will work with Google Nest, this will work with the Amazon Alexa, and so being able to, you've got to buy everything in the same family, or you have an integration problem. Well, no more, because in fall of last year, this alliance called the Connectivity Standards Alliance released something called Matter, which is an open standard for communication. It's essentially a language by which all of these smart home devices can talk together, can communicate. So now, regardless if you're an Alexa person or you're a Google Home person or you're a Siri person or whatever, you will be able, once you begin to buy these smart home products that are Matter compliant, they will all speak to each other irregardless of what company you bought them from. This is a huge step forward for the Internet of Things and for smart home technology. So I expect even now you will begin to see products coming out that, and you want to look to make sure that they are Matter compliant going
and that
forward.
simplifies things.
Simplifies.
Just like the USB-C simplifies things. How many people now have a device that has USB-C? Everybody in here? See how much better it is? You don't have to turn it the right way. You don't have to figure out where you got a USB-A, USB-B, USB-C, mini USB. It works. And the good stuff about it is it will transmit power and a signal. So USB-C is a great step forward. Much faster charging for your devices. So again, this is a thing that folks in the tech world have done to simplify things. And we're certainly happy about it.
This
Looks like
docking
everybody
station,
else
you
is.
still have other legacy products that have different connectors. So this one docking station, which is USB-C, you plug that in and you can connect to HDMI, you can connect to RJ45, which is Ethernet. All these other different ports, your legacy USB 3.0 or even 2.0 ports. And so everything right here, I find I've got a couple of these, not this particular brand, but I've got a couple of these USB-C docking stations which are imperative to put in my laptop bag when I'm traveling.
And we always like to include something that we're going to order, and I'm going to order this primarily out of jealousy of what we're going to show you next, because Philip has the next one. Everybody in the world is getting into these smart paper. It's e-ink. That I don't know how many of you have seen it or not, but there's like a bazillion of these things out now. There's at least 20 devices that will allow you to take notes on e-ink. It'll have long-lasting battery life, much easier to use. This one's caught my eye. I'm probably going to spend some of my rusty money and buy the Lenovo Smart Paper. Philip got the next one that we're going to show you. How long have you had this thing?
So I bought this in 2020, I think it was. This is the second generation of the Remarkable tablet. To me, for an e-ink or a digital tablet, you does handwriting and be able to capture that electronically. This is the most realistic experience that I've found. Incredible, and I use it all the time. So when I go to meetings, I don't take my laptop anymore. I just take this and I take digital handwriting, and then I can upload it to the cloud or to my email or my cloud repository. It will even translate your handwriting into searchable text, even with my sloppy handwriting. This is incredible. Now, the latest thing, and I've highlighted it down there, they have just announced, a remarkable company, that they are now including a type folio that you can attach to this as part of the case. Mine's just a regular folio, but they've got now where you can have a keyboard so you can either write digital on the screen or you can type. So I think for lawyers, especially students, etc., I just hate taking a laptop into a meeting and putting it in between me, particularly if it's a one-on-one meeting. It seems very impersonal. This
and
solves
also,
that problem.
Harvard some years ago with their law school did a study And they learned that students that took notes by hand actually retained more of the lecture than those that typed on a keyboard, because there's something about the translating what you're hearing into what you write that allows you to remember it better. So I think it's a better idea to take notes, and it's a lot better than having a big stack of legal pads you're trying to figure out which one you lost.
One thing on Bill, one he's going to get, the Lenovo Smart Paper, it does have a recorder. So it will, as you're taking notes, it's recording as well if you want it to, so you can go back and play that particular portion of the meeting, which I think is a really nice feature as well.
Click on that spot in your notes and it'll play back what was said. Now, you know, I don't know whether y'all have encountered this, but some judges don't like it if you're recording the proceedings. So if you're going to do that, you probably better keep your damn mouth shut if the thing records it. You know, because
do we have that on the recording?
Bailing me out of jail, baby. All right, anybody heard of this right here? Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
This question on Remarkable too. Does it still require the subscription?
Yes, it does. Now I got mine before they were requiring that, so I'm grandfathered in. But now all new purchases, my understanding, because I helped somebody in Bill's office order one, and you now have to get the subscription. Yes, and that's to upload it to the cloud, have that cloud connection.
Lenovo's gonna do the same thing with that other
Probably.
one, but you know, once I finally acquire that thing, we'll maybe we'll write an article about it and compare them.
So we'll put a strike against the Remarkable too on requirement, because it's like $300. I mean, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap if you're.
You can't use it without.
But see, when you got all that money Phillips got, you buy this stuff ahead of time, and then
I don't have the
rich just get
subscription.
richer, man.
I got grandfathered in, so I don't have it.
Yeah,
but,
rich get richer.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. I may have heard of Rollo. You heard of this? I'm telling you, man, I'm definitely going to start using it because it is great. And I think our law office will start using this. It is a ship from home or from office, whatever you want to do. So it costs like a nickel a shipment is all. That's all they get. And you go in, you fill out, it creates a shipping label for you. It can be U.S. Postal Service. It can be United Parcel Service. It can be FedEx. And it automatically will print out the label. You put it on there, and then then it'll send a signal to whoever's got to pick it up, and they'll pick it up. And they are starting their own shipping service. And that tickled me. On the side of their vans, it says, "Not owned by Jeff Bezos." Pretty cool.
I
Pretty
like
cool.
that. I like that.
These guys. I like their touch.
All right. Speaking of simple and being something simple to use, this right here takes the cake. You know, I forget what the stats
It takes
are.
the cake off the
It
thing.
does
Yeah.
take the cake literally off of your phone. I mean, our phones are nasty devices. We know that. Because
Yours are.
they're like they collect germs wherever we go.
Clean
And
as a
so
whistle.
this right here, I've got to get this. This is the clean station, and you just put your phone into it, and it will take up to an iPro 14 Pro Max is the size, up to a 6.5. So if you're the 6.8, you got the Ultra, it's not going to fit. You just stick it in there. It automatically pulls it in. It cleans it using the UV ultra violet light, cleans it, and then takes 30 seconds to do that. And I forgot to turn that off.
Somebody,
All of my
that's them
gadgets.
calling you to tell you to clean your phone.
and cleans your phone. That's my phone wanting to be clean. So very cool. Only $200. Man, you need to do that simply to clean things out in your office.
Phil, that's a little weird. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't think so. I
This
think
is not
it's
weird
useful.
though, man. Sit at your desk, get in shape, charge your phone, okay, and a beverage holder. Okay?
Very nice.
So you could drink beer, you could drink coffee,
The
you could,
ultimate work from home setup right there.
or put that in your office, man.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
Yeah.
So it's the e-kinetic. We
Now,
saw these.
Does it, when you're pedaling, is that powering
It
up?
powers it up. You charge your phone.
Charges your phone as you're
while
pedaling.
it.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, man.
That's it right there.
See, so that's
All
a
in one
lot
se-
better than
and
a
you
phone
and,
cleaner.
and it simplifies because you can cancel your gym membership.
Correct.
Exactly.
And
yes.
you don't have to clean your phone either.
All right. So the second category. Let's look at some tech that simplifies our work, how we work. And this first one is really interesting, Bill. Tell me about the Law Droid.
Yeah, I've got to try this out. And AJ, have you played with this thing yet? He's our chat dude.
GPT.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is the Law Droid, and we're going to talk about several of these. And this is the latest craze, is, some sort of artificial intelligence that helps you practice law, that takes the place of a paralegal or a legal assistant. And this one actually looks pretty good when just seeing what their demo is, but I'm going to go ahead and buy it, try out, and we'll probably write an article about this too. It's its own legal assistant. It will draft emails and letters for you. You will say, you can say, hey, here's like a document or a letter or a contract. Give me a summary of it. It's supposed to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how this works, but there's a ton of this out there in terms of the legal automation work, and there's been a lot said in the media about all this stuff is going to get rid of lawyers. I don't know, but it may reduce requirements for staff. It may.
There you go.
There are some things it will just automatically do for you, and we'll show you some more after that one.
I'm just waiting to see if the Law Droid version of Bill and Phil is better than us.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, exactly.
That's going to be easy.
All
That's
right.
a low mark, man.
Another thing I'm liking in the world of technology is we're changing form factors. We've been using laptops and tablets for a long time and phones, and they're all kind of getting boring because they all look the same. Samsung says, no. We've already talked about the foldable phones. We've got some of those later on, but now they have this not only is it a foldable tablet, so the actual screen will fold over it so it becomes like a book, but when you open it up, and they had this at CES this year, it's a concept form. It's not actually on the shelves yet, but will be. You open up the book, and then the edge pulls out, so it will unfold and pull out to a full, I think it's like up to 12.4 inches, but a 16:10 aspect ratio. So really clever design, because you can fold it up to be really compact to fit in your backpack. So don't know yet if it's going to have Windows on it or if it's going to have the Android operating system. Not sure about that. They haven't announced anything about that. Just the form factor, which is
Or it
super
may just be a
cool.
monitor.
May just be an
don't know.
external monitor. Yeah.
We don't know. I don't know how many have heard of this one. It's called Connect. This, I think, is clearly something I'm going to go ahead and crank up. How many of you now, you have clients that text you a lot? Anybody have that a lot?
Yeah,
Like they wear you out with these damn texts. Well, now, back in the old days, the older lawyers would always, once we had cell phones, they'd go, don't ever give a client a cell phone number. Don't ever do it, because they'll be calling you all the time, especially in divorce cases. They just do. So, but I broke that rule. It's out. But now, instead of getting text from your client to your cell phone, you give them an office number, and they text to that office number, and then you have an interface. It can be on a computer, on the web, or on your phone, and it's a unified place to get all your text. Even if
Not only text, but like instant messages, like through Instagram or Facebook. If people,
all of it goes
one
to
central,
one place.
One central repository to go and answer it like an Outlook type interface. It's really cool.
And that way it's much easier to keep track of all your texts, because right now when you get text, if you look on your phone, oh yeah, Joe Blow sent me a text about that, golly, a month ago, and you scroll back through there, but now you've got a very simple to use interface. You can just go right through it because you'll have all your text in one inbox. Clearly something we need to try.
Absolutely. This is another one, Knackly. How many of you have ever heard of Hot Docs? Remember Hot Docs?
Anybody remember Hot
That's an
Docs?
old, pretty much for years and years was the gold standard in document automation.
But it was hard to use.
Very difficult. We're talking about simplify. I actually got certified at one point in Hot Docs. You had to go through a week-long class to even kind of learn how to set up the interviews and these templates and so forth. In comes Knackly, which interestingly, I saw this company a couple weeks ago at the Chicago ABA Tech Show, and one of the guys that works for Knackly used to work with Hot Docs. And I said, well, compare the two for me. He goes, this is super easier to use. Hot Docs was very powerful. It did some really powerful things, but it had a very steep learning curve. This Knackly does a lot of the same things. It is web-based, so you can actually create a client intake form and ask all the questions you need to populate your documents, but do it on a web-based interface, so you can send it out to a client, they fill it in, and then it automates all of the documents that it's going to do. So they tout it, and it's on a subscription model, so it starts at $100 a month and goes up from there. So you can look at that. But if you're into doing this sort of document automation where you have some templates and then you fill in some variable information based on input from the client, this might be something you want to look at. It's called Knackly.
And when we were at CES, the computer maker that I think blew us away the most was LG with this Gram series of laptops. Look at this thing. First of all, it's 2.2 pounds.
Incredible.
Weighs absolutely nothing. Looks great, and you can't, until you touch the bottom of the base there, you can't even see where the touchpad is. Then it just barely lights up where you can touch it. Very responsive computer, very, very light. Now, right now the price point on all these is pretty high, but it's another step past the old LG Gram series. But if you're looking for something, especially if you travel a lot, I'd say LG Gram is the way to go. It's probably the lightest of all of these that we've found, and it was a really nice looking
And I will
computer.
say they have, not this particular one I didn't see, but recently I was in Costco. They do have some of the LG Grams there on the display at Costco that you can, all of the Gram series are incredibly light. Again, as Bill says, if you're a travel warrior, that is a good choice for you.
All right, VXT. Now, of course, I've been casting around about these for a law firm because really nowadays, I know all of us have like a handset on our desk, but the truth of the matter is, my thought is, why? Because you've got a computer now that can do so much more than anybody's phone, and it's got a VoIP connection. So why are law firms still using handsets? And there are people that are now moving away from this. VXT is an add-on to what, at least my vision of what law firms' phones are going to look like. Because first, I think you just let your computer act as the phone. You can add a handset if you're really kind of tied to it, or you can have a headset, and that's your phone. You don't have to have something else cluttering your desk. VXT goes the next step, and it interfaces with your time and billing system, so it will recognize any phone call from someone who's your client and automatically put an entry in your time and billing system to say you fielded a phone call from that person, and then you can go in and decide whether you want to charge for it or not. It will automatically transcribe and record all of your phone calls, the whole thing. Now, if you're talking to somebody in California, you probably need to tell them because it's against the law to record anybody without their knowledge from California, same way maybe in Pennsylvania, Maryland, a few other states. But it really will come in handy, and it does work with both mobile phones and office phones. I think that's another way to simplify what you're having to do.
All right, so Bill's already alluded to this, but ChatGPT.
They heard all about it from AJ.
Did
you write a poem for us? Who did?
So you've already had your session then, right? Okay. All right, so I'm not going to belabor
Let's hear the
point.
poem. What did it say?
Well, pull it up. It's on the screen there.
It's a different.
We'll do it at the
We'll
break.
do it at the close.
He wrote "Ode to Bill and Phil."
Oh man!
It's kind of like the Bobby
man.
Gentry
All
of instead of "Ode to Billy Joe." You get it? Yeah, sorry.
So, but I'm telling you, this is all the rage now. When I went to ABA, like I said, the ABA Tech Show, every other booth is touting their ChatGPT OpenAI integration into their product. And it's a form of, I won't reteach AJ's class, but it's a form of artificial intelligence it's called generative, in that it is trying to generate novel content based on deep learning models that it has and all the text and all the volumes of data that it has consumed. The idea is that when you interact with something using this technology, you are fooled into thinking you are talking to a human. And so we're seeing this built into a lot of products. In fact, I think, well, obviously, Microsoft has invested a huge amount of money in this. And so they're now touting their new Bing. Bing, if you didn't know, was Microsoft's search engine, way below in popularity, Google, of course. But now Google is getting very, very nervous, are they not, Bill?
They're getting nervous.
Because the new Bing, and you can go now to bing.com/new and sign up and get on a wait list to be able to get the new search engine. The idea behind this is if you go to Google now and you run a search, I want to, give me all the restaurants within 2 miles of my current location or whatever. And what does it do? Boom, 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 boom. Gives you a list and you click or whatever. The idea behind the new Bing and any kind of this search technology that uses the ChatGPT model is rather than giving you links, it's going to give you an answer as if, well, Bill, have you tried so-and-so, 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 and so-so?
Yeah.
It's more of a human-like response rather than just a bunch of links to websites. So the idea is it's much more personal, and then you can interact with it. And I've tried this. I've got on, actually you can go, the other website, if you go to chat.openai.com, and you probably covered this, you can go in and you can run tests. And we've written an article in the latest, I don't know if it's out yet, the Tennessee Bar Journal, about our experience. And one of the things I put in when I was doing my experiment, it was right at the end of the NFL season, right at the end of the Titans' huge collapse at the end of the season. They lost their last 7 games, missed the playoffs. It was a golden ticket. They had it right in front of them. And I was really frustrated about that. And so I thought, I was typing in a bunch of things, and I put, why do the Titans suck? And I thought, it's going to throw up on that. And it came back with the coolest answer. It said, well, it's unfair to say that your sports team sucks. There's a lot of things that goes into it. And it gave me a whole paragraph defending the Tennessee Titans. I'm like, oh my word, this thing is alive. And so it was pretty funny. Or maybe the Addams family owns it. I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe Vrabel answered.
But this is coming down the pike. It is a new toy, and a lot of legal software providers are digging into it. We'll see some of that coming up. In fact, right here, Bill.
Yeah, this is another one. And again, there's so many of these new products out there. They're just, everywhere you go, people are saying, well, we use some sort of AI legal assistant. This is another one that also looks pretty good to me. It not only will do like document review and contract analysis, but it'll also handle your billing for you. It will actually prepare bills. You'll say, okay, here, connect to my time and billing system. It will prepare the cover letter. It also, believe it or not, it will, is what they're saying, it will help you negotiate settlements and then draft the settlement documents. It comes with a whole slew of templates. But again, this is what we're beginning to see in the legal world of so much of this artificial intelligence. And it's like it's the fad of the day.
It is.
I just
it's the
don't
flavor
know
of the
how
month.
far it's going to go, and I think I guess I'm an old guy, but I just think there's still no replacement for having somebody who's a very smart, creative attorney representing you. But they're making a lot of inroads into this, and we'll see what happens.
All right. All right, well, one thing to simplify, and Bill talked about it on an earlier slide, is getting rid of our old, what we used to call our POTS, plain old telephone systems. And I remember working with law firms, and we would go in and we would put in VoIP or whatever, but there was always some legacy systems that needed the hardwire. Remember the hardwire? Your fax system, your security systems. Even to this day, a lot of these emergency failover fax machines, point of sale systems, etc., still had to have that old hardwire. Well, that's pretty much unheard of now, particularly in new construction. So Ooma AirDial is not a replacement for your phone system, but it is to augment if you have a VoIP system, voice over IP, but you still need like a hardwire for a fax machine or something like that. You can do that with the Ooma AirDial. Ooma's been around for a long time, and it's really sort of a consumer, home voice over IP system, which works fine. But for the office, the Ooma AirDial is something that a law firm could use to power up these systems that require that old POTS line.
Now, this is a device, we saw this at CES by a company called Hisense. Now, how many of you heard of Hisense?
Yeah,
you know
they're
why you've
Walmart,
heard of
aren't
them? This is like Walmart brand, man. Walmart is a big seller of Hisense. And when we first started going
Brought to you
Consumer
by the
Electronics
little
Show,
country of China.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's brought to you by China. And they look, they were cheap looking TVs, and then every time we go, Hisense is getting better and better and better and better. And we really like this product. This is, you can see, this is an interactive whiteboard, and you can have it will put anything on there you want. You can attach it to a computer system. You can mark it up. People can brainstorm on it. And the part that you can have 20 different people. I don't know how it works. They can be touching it and doing their input, and it knows who's doing the input, so it recognizes
Simultaneously.
all at the same time. They're using it all at the same time and making entries on the whiteboard. It also, they do have a stylus for if you want to do something very fine and intricate. And another thing that's cool, it's got near field communication built into it. So when you take your phone up to it and touch it to it, the phone screen will come on that TV.
Crazy.
It's Hisense is really doing some great stuff, and I predict that this may be a device people want to use in
All
law
right,
firms.
I've got another one I'm going to show you in just a little bit. I think is a little bit more economical and useful for law firms. We'll cover it in just a minute.
Yes, sir.
All right. Pipe file. This I love. If you've ever, in working particularly transaction law, or if you've even been on the receiving end of having to submit a lot of documents, like say for a real estate closing or M&A activity or whatever, it is a pain. Because it's a pain for the person collecting the documents, because no one ever gets all their documents in on the first try. And so you have to go back and say, oh, I'm missing your tax returns from 2020, or I need this, or what have you. And it's just a pain keeping up with it. This is an app that does that for you, a subscription base called Pipefile. So you put your checklist of everything you need, send that to the client, and then this particular software will remind them, has automatic reminders, oh, we still need your 2020 tax return, or whatever it is. So you don't have to think about it, simplifies your life, let the app do all the work. So I really, really like Pipefile.
All right. This is another great computer, really cool looking, that's simple and we like. I know everybody's familiar with the iMac. It has this form factor, and most people don't use a Mac, and so we thought it'd be good to tell people about this. Is a Acer. It's a Windows computer, but you can see it has its own little detachable trackpad and touchpad that you can maneuver around on, but all of the wiring is contained, see, in this base here, and it also has a lot of ports in the back, so it's very sleek, fits on your desktop, and it's not cluttered. And look at, a very nice price point to me, $1,200. I think that's for the 27-inch screen.
Yeah.
But,
Which is huge.
Which is huge on a desktop.
I am a big fan of these are called the all-in-one models, where you don't have a separate base and a monitor, everything is built in right there. And for home office or actual office, this is my computer of choice, the all-in-one model. All
right, now this one is Milestones, not the album by Miles Davis that was legendary. I'm not talking about a Miles Davis album. I'm talking about Milestones. Now, this is a pretty good way to communicate with your client, because what it does is you can sync it to your case management software or your document management software, and every time something happens in your client's case, it notifies them. You can notify them by email or text or however you do it. So, I represent lawyers that get in trouble with the Board of Professional Responsibility, and a whole lot of those complaints are my lawyer never calls me. They never call me back. I can't stand it anymore. This way, you can have it automated, so every event that occurs in your case, as soon as it happens, your client knows. and this is called Milestones.
So if you've got this and I'm your client, I think, man, that Bill's just sitting there
He's
waiting
on
on
the
my
ball.
email. He's just waiting on the edge of his seat to respond
No,
to me.
they really go,
I'm
"What
going to pay
happened?"
his bill.
What happened to Bill? He never tells me what's
This is
happening.
unlike him. This is unlike him.
This is so out of character. What the hell's happened here?
All right, we're talking about Simplify, Bill. Simplifying our work.
I love
now,
this
this
one,
right
man.
here,
Oh.
unfortunately, if you're an iPhone user, you can't use this. But if you have...
We don't have to, because you've got the
Well,
you've
well.
got the Apple ecosystem, and it works.
That's fine. All right. For those of us that are more intelligent, that we have, this is called the Mirror Dock, and this will work with your Samsung phones and some other phones. Anything that has the DeX, it's DeX compatible, which is a desktop interface for phones. What this is, it's the little dock that you see sitting there with the plant
Little thing right here.
behind it. You plug your phone into that and an external monitor, and you've got a desktop computer, essentially. So for travel purposes, that little thing and your phone and an external monitor, which Bill's going to show a killer one in just a minute, that is really all you need to travel and to be able to work. Yes, I can do word processing. Yes, I can do email. I can do everything from this phone and this Mirror Dock right here. And the other thing, you can connect two devices. So if you had a tablet, compatible tablet you wanted to connect to it as well, you can have them both connected to that external monitor as well. $147, Mirror Dock. Well worth it.
All right, here's another little ingenious thing that's been created. If you, especially if you write a lot of legal briefs, and especially very useful for appellate briefs, and I'll tell you in a second why. So what you do is you do your research, and you can see on this side here, you load all of the cases you found in here on this side, and you have a little sidebar as a part of this software.
In Word. It's in Word. It's
all
integrated
part
in
of
Word.
But you have the site right working on top of it. So you have your authorities on the right, then you have what you're writing on the left. You go through the cases, you say, oh yeah, here's the case where it had the language I want. You highlight that case, it automatically copies it into the Word document and creates either the cite or a footnote, whichever you want. Then when you're through with the brief, it automatically creates your table of authorities. If you're writing a brief to the Sixth Circuit, you get the table of authorities done. You can use footnotes instead of citations inside. Very, very neat and simple to use. I don't know why nobody ever really thought of this. But so you have all your cases on the right with the language you like. Automatically we'll get it in a brief.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. This is cool also. Motorola D-Fi 2. This is their second version of this. It is a phone for the extreme road warrior. If you are typically traveling, Bill, to places that you don't have Wi-Fi or a cell signal, which I think Viola would, Viola, Tennessee, where
My
Bill's from,
hometown.
would almost qualify.
Smallest town in the state of Tennessee.
This is a very affordable Android phone that will connect via Wi-Fi, 5G, and satellite. And that's the other thing. Satellite would be virtually responsive anywhere. So it is one of the few satellite phones that has that built in. They also market it as being able to survive very harsh conditions, water repellent, in dust. You can drop the thing from so many feet up and it's not going to hurt it. It is a really rugged travel phone, the Motorola D-Fi 2, which when I was looking this up, I guess I'd forgotten this, but Motorola is now owned by Lenovo. So Lenovo owns this company now, Motorola D-Fi 2. Very good choice.
And this is a coming thing in the world of cell phones. More and more people are adding on an ability to have it also as a satellite phone. Apple has already added that in. I believe it will be in the next one that comes out, the 14.
The 15.
No, well, 14 right now, it's in there just as texting. You can, when you're caught in a spot and you can't get cell service, you can actually send a text from wherever you are over the newer iPhones. Then the next iteration, the 15, my understanding is you can then use it as a full-blown cell phone. And now there are also some add-ons that you can buy that will attach to the back of your cell phone.
But you're making it that's too hard. We simplify. Just get the Motorola D-Phi 2, Bill.
Yeah, but
simplify it.
But it's $600.
That's nothing.
No,
What'd you pay
yeah,
for your
a
phone?
millionaire,
You
a
paid
billionaire, it's a piece of cake.
$1,200 for that
I'm
iPhone
trying to
Pro
save
Max
my
or
buddy
whatever.
some money, and here you go. All right, now here's another way that simplifies, I think, and my apologies over here to Covert Results up here,
Yep.
because how many of y'all probably now, doesn't everybody have to collect stuff from either social media or various places on the web pages, all that stuff? This actually Page Vault, now it's $295 a month, but if you have this that happens a lot for $295 a month, this is forensically sound way to collect these items from Instagram, TikTok, web pages, and it will also generate you an affidavit to use to support its entry into evidence into court. It's called Page Vault.
Yeah. And speaking to our friend from Covert Results, this doesn't take the place of a forensic analysis like of a cell phone or of a computer or laptop. That's when you need the professionals. But this is if I just want to collect, and I told Bill we were discussing this. I think probably one of the most useful uses of this is a defensive measure to see what's on your client's social media, to know what's coming at you, and being able to collect that to see in advance what is out there, right?
Yeah, and it'll automatically go out there. Now, again, ethics warning, because we're trying to get you ethics credit here too. Do not do this if you don't have the permission to be on that page. Don't try to pretend to be somebody's friend, because that is an ethical violation. In other words, don't lie to get access to any of this stuff. If it's open, or you have the ability to get permission, or the court has given you permission, do it. But don't fake somebody into making you a friend. That is unethical.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry, now you got your ethics credit. Way to go.
I got to log out real quick. Hold on. No, I'm joking. All right. Now, this is a very simple tool that's been around for a while. How many of you used a window snipping tool?
Everybody does.
And,
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I use it all the stinking time. Do you know they have updated this just recently to put in the record feature? So not only can you snip a still photo, but now you can record anything that's going on your screen with the snipping tool. It's in Windows 11, and I forget what update. Maybe it was the update in December. I don't remember. But if you will get the latest update of Windows 11, it now has the record option. Oh, this is awesome. I love this. So if you've ever wanted to record just a snippet of a YouTube video, maybe to put it into a presentation, now you just do it with the window snipping tool. You don't have to buy any external software. Works fantastic. And it just creates an MP3 file that you can then just copy it just like you do the JPEG and paste it into a PowerPoint or whatever. Works great.
And of course, you can tell we're enamored with the LG.
Bill is enamored.
I am. I can't figure out which one I'm going to buy. This is one.
Bill is smitten.
I'm smitten. 0.5 inches thick, folks. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Yeah, you said you think this might be the one you're going to get.
That's one I'm going to
get.
get.
The Ultra Slim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's named after me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I tell you, I am smitten by a new form factor that we saw at CES.
Oh, wow.
We've heard of, plain old laptops. We've heard of 2-in-1s, laptop converting into a tablet. This new category is called a 3-in-1. No joke. You can use, and ThinkPad, Lenovo has a version of the ThinkPad X1 Fold. It's got the foldable glass, so you can use it, you can fold it and use it as a laptop form factor. You can open it up and use it like a giant iPad, or it's got a stand on the back of it. You can open it up and it's got the keyboard and you can use it as like a desktop, 3-in-1. And huge display, 16.3-inch display, but you can narrow it down. You can put the keyboard over the bottom of it and use that keyboard like a regular laptop. Very, very cool. I don't know how much you're going to charge for this one. Speculation has been in the upper $2,500 to $2,600, which is
too high.
Kind of hefty, but it's one device. It's one device. You don't have to have any other device. That could be your home, your office, and your road device all in one.
Till the next one comes and then you buy it.
Now this one is too expensive. But again, it is you can see the demo. This is a guy demoing this for us. See how the keyboard kind of goes on the bottom and now it turns into a laptop. You can also open this thing up and use it as a desktop as well. This is the Asus ZenBook, and when I was at CES, I told Bill, this is going to be my next computer until I saw the price tag, $3,500. That's a little bit hefty, and the battery life is not so great. So I'm not going to get this version. We'll watch for the next version, and hopefully they will improve it.
Yep.
But these 3-in-1 form factors, I think, might be the new hotness, Bill.
Yeah, and this next one is part of the technology that's out there, and anybody who wants to can come up look at this, because this is maybe our gadget of the year.
I love it.
Dell makes this thing, weighs a half a pound, okay? But it's an external monitor, has a USB-C, has a little kickstand with it, see? So you connect your computer to it, and now you've got 2 screens.
Beautiful.
And, like Philip said,
The Mirror Dock.
you can take the Mirror Dock, connect to this, so now you've got this in your phone, you've got a computer. And now you really won't believe it. After this, you guys can come up here and just see how incredibly light this is. And it's easy to put away, in a briefcase, and it's just incredibly light. And all of this comes with it.
The best secondary monitor I've seen.
Ever. And
Best
it's so
one.
bright.
And I've bought several. In fact, Innocent, I had an Innocent monitor in our last presentation. It's much heavier than this one.
And
Super
we're not
light.
sponsored by Dell. They don't pay us for this.
Not
We're
a
telling
thing.
you,
Yeah.
and it's got a good price point. It's worth having. Now, how many of you use this, Word Rake? Anybody do this? Heard these guys?
Oh, man.
All right.
Talking about simplify. Yeah.
All right, now I'll quote my hero, Jim Neal. I used to write something for Mr. Neal, and he'd go, Billy, you're spending too much time in the capillaries. You need to go for the jugular. And he meant, I'm just fooling around, and I'm adding language. It's I'm beating around the bush, using a lot of passive voice, blah, blah, blah. And, if anybody's ever worked as a judicial law clerk or talked to judges, you're much more effective when you're writing to a judge with short declarative sentences so they know exactly what you're talking about, and you're going straight to the point. You're going to the jugular, and you're not in the capillaries. WordRake does this for you. You can run whatever you've written through WordRake, and it will make all these suggestions, take out your passive voice, clean it up. I mean, it's it's $129 a year, it's $10 a month. I can't remember the guy's name that is done that writes this, Brian somebody, but I'm telling you, WordRake is a must-use if you do a lot of legal writing, because it will clean up and make your writing much more effective. Highly recommend.
That simplifies things. And if you know how to use track changes, there's no learning curve, because it's just
Right.
like track changes, right?
Yeah,
Have you used Grammarly?
I have too. I've used Grammarly. I like this better. I definitely like it better than Grammarly. I've used it, but this guy...
I think this is tailored for
lawyers.
legal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tailored for lawyers, but the thing of it is, the guy that did this has been doing legal writing for years and written a lot of books about it, and he's right. Judges are not impressed, even though you think you're so cute and you've said all this cute little turn of phrase. Nah, they're wanting you to convey the information to them in a very straightforward way.
The
And
judges are all about simplifying as well, I guess.
Yeah, because I got a lot to read.
All right, so this is the other interactive display that I was talking about when Bill was talking about his Hisense. These guys were at the ABA Tech Show. It's called CleverTouch, and it is a solution for hybrid meetings or for a conference room, interactive whiteboard. It will do the whiteboard. It will display your Microsoft Teams or your Zoom calls. It's got the microphones and the speakers built in. Very powerful microphones that will reach all the way down to the board table, like in a big boardroom or whatnot. So it is a great video conferencing solution, as well as just an interactive whiteboard solution. I don't remember, when I went to the website, the pricing is not on there. There's a button you can click on to get pricing. When I was speaking with the guy a couple of weeks ago, I want to say it was in the $3,000 to $5,000 range, which is not horrible for one of these at all. So CleverTouch, and they've got different sizes as well. So check them out, clevertouch.com.
And how many, I don't even know, how many of y'all in here are like transactional attorneys or do closings or do document closings? Now, there's a bunch of these, you have DocuSign and all this, but Simply Agree has added another twist. So you create some package packets for each signer that's customized for each person that has to sign a set of documents. And all of that is integrated into one. Of course, it's e-signing, which is now all the rage. You probably use e-signing all the time, right? But it will create a closing binder that has the brand of your law firm on it and send it out as a PDF. Very, 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 very nice touch. I think Adobe's gotten into the e-sign business. DocuSign, there's a whole bunch of them that are doing it. But you may want to try this out. They have a way that you can just test it out and see how it works.
This works on top of the whatever e-signing platform you use. It works on top of that. It's just making sure that
You've got everything.
What documents go to what people, and that it gets back and it assimilates everything for
And
you into one package.
Where everybody needs to sign, it checks to make sure you've got everybody signed.
Again, kind of doing what a legal assistant used to do, right?
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, what's this, Bill? Spellbook.
This one is this is an offshoot of some technology that I saw, I think, at Harry Phillips Inn of Court about 3 years ago. There was a big firm, an M&A firm, that did a lot of very, very complicated M&A closings. Have you ever seen some of these? Just stacks and stacks of documents. You have all these people that have to prepare it. And what Spellbook does is it's ingested a whole lot of these M&A contracts, including things that, where there have been SEC filings and so forth, where it's a very, very big, complicated set of documents. So then you draft up your contract and you send it through this software, and it analyzes it and says, hey, you may want to include an indemnity clause. Most contracts like this I've seen have one in it. You may want to consider that, and if you want one, here's a sample. And it will go through your whole document to analyze it against what I really feel like is the industry standard in preparing documents like this, to make sure that you've got all the components in a complex, especially a contractual document, that are in there. And if you tell it to, hey, yeah, I need an indemnity clause, it will automatically create it and add it to your document.
There you go.
Simplifies.
Yeah.
This one may take the place of lawyer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and this is built off of the Chat GPT, OpenAI, artificial intelligence module, if you will. What they tout, Spellbook, is that this one is a GPT-3, which has been trained on legal specific, on contracts and that sort of thing. So they've honed the knowledge, if you will, of this AI to know about contract language, and that's their claim to fame. Spellbook, pretty cool. All right, this is cool. I remember back in the old days, we used to do trial prep for Bill and other people, and one of the things that took the most time and was the most tedious was doing video clips. You have depositions, you'd have to sync the deposition to the transcript, and then you go and do your clips that, whatever Bill was going to need for his trial. We go in and clip those out, create separate files, and put it into a trial presentation software. It was a hot mess.
It was tedious.
It was tedious and complex.
If you've ever done it, what you have to do is find the exact language you want, and the lawyer will highlight it and say, okay, Philip, I want to use this question and answer.
Yeah.
Then you highlight it, and then he's got to highlight that and stop it at the exact right point for the video.
Yeah.
Because I've had judges get mad at me and say, Mr. Ramsey, it went on too far. You added somebody's objection,
Yeah.
and I'd gotten in trouble for it because we screwed up when we synced it. Now, Philip never did.
No,
it was always
That's when
perfect.
yeah, exactly.
But now,
so this and so trial presentation software has really gone through maturation process, and they've been bought up. All the little independent people, a lot of them that did it really good, have been bought up by bigger companies, and it's really hard to get just that component now. This Reduct Video, and that's not a typo. That's the name, Reduct, not Redact. Reduct Video. What it will do, you have your video of a deposition or a hearing or whatever. It will create a transcript for you. It will actually listen to it and create a transcript For extra, you can have it overnight, have a human transcribe it for
Or
you
fix
and fix it or whatever. But you can just do a loose or just a transcript based on the video itself. Then you can actually go in and search like for those particular phrases. Rather than having to highlight them, you can actually search within the transcript and create the clip right there. And most importantly, it is interactive. So I can do this on the cloud and multiple people can be interacting and collaborating. We want this clip, we want that. We can redact certain portions and then we can create video clips that will go into a trial presentation software or whatever. Much easier way to do this than the way we used to do it in the old days. Reduct video.
Whoever thought that would be the old days?
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. So our next section, we only got two more. So our next section is tech. This is what I like, Bill. I want to simplify my work, but I want to simplify my life.
You just want to be happy.
I want to be happy, exactly.
But how can you not be happy?
I am happy because I have just purchased the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra 5G.
Man,
I wish I'd add a few more descriptors in there, but this, to me, is the pinnacle phone, even eclipsing the iPhone 14 Max.
You can't hide
Finally,
money. You can't hide money.
Finally, Samsung has beat iPhone at their stronghold, which is photos. Incredible photos with this thing. Incredible. This, and it has the new Snapdragon chip, which is incredibly responsive. I've just had this a few days. Very, very responsive, very fast. So this, I'm very happy with my new Samsung. We always include phones. So Bill, are you still carrying the iPhone? What do you got?
I have the 13. I'm not going to buy the 14 because I'm waiting for the 15 because I think the 15 is really going to be a step way up. This one already has the satellite feature I told you about, and it has, you know, a lot of great features on it. But I believe, you know, I should never say this because Apple will disown me.
Yeah.
But I would wait. They claim the 15 is going to be out like October.
You're not going to get your check from Apple this month.
I know.
Yeah.
The 14 Pro Max is clearly nice, and it does have that text via satellite feature. But they're saying the 15 will expand that feature, so I think it'd be good to hold off. Okay. Now the next one, neither one of us held off on this.
No, we didn't.
Did you bring yours?
I got it. So I got the Z Flip, the Galaxy Z Flip. Remember the old days when you had the flip phone, the really cool, you know. So now you got this little thing, and you get a call, you just flip. There it is, and now you've just got a full-fledged phone. What'd you get? Oh, Bill, you had to one-up me. You got one twice as big. Oh, my word.
Look at that thing, man.
Yeah.
And it's got a little kickstand on the stand, see?
That is pretty cool.
So
you
could sit there, see?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm old, but
You know what,
that's even big enough for me to read.
You get the mirror dock, and that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah, you get that, and then hook it up to the mirror dock, and you got it made.
Beautiful.
Love this thing.
Yeah.
And it's good in a meeting, too, because it's not obtrusive. I'm just saying.
It's good in a meeting with that picture there, I guess. What are you watching, Bill?
just-
Oh, my word.
I need the big screen, you know what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
we're talking about simplifying our life. So if there's anything that complicates our life, it's babies.
How would you know?
I don't have any. But
Miriam, is this
no
true?
joke. You may
Miriam
think.
says it's true.
Yeah, it is true. See there, I have a witness from the audience. So no joke, this is a new device that we saw at CES this year. It is the Ella Smart Stroller. And when I heard it, I thought, they said it's a self-driving stroller. So, oh my goodness, I'm not going to put a baby in and just let it go. But that's not what it does.
It's not what it does.
So when you're out, Miriam, you're walking your baby or whatever,
He can walk now.
and you got in the stroller, and the baby gets fussy, and you need to take the baby out. So you take the baby out of the stroller. Well, what are you going to do with the stroller now? That's when the stroller will just walk right along with you when the baby is not in it. How about that, Bill?
Pretty
and
cool.
It will also do an automatic rock my baby. And it's a white noise
White
machine.
noise, that's
and
what I'm
this
saying.
stroller is only $3,800.
Oh, you could buy the baby a car, man. All right, now, but here you go. This was the hit of Consumer Electronics Show.
I can't believe this.
It's the hands-free connected home urine testing lab. Yeah. Now, so you
Sometimes you've been doing a lot of drug tests, Bill.
Yeah, we do a lot of drug testing.
Yeah.
So you install this into your toilet, and then you do your business, and it will send the results back to your smartphone. You can see if you've been smoking weed.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is the real, this
It's
is the
for
real thing.
And
It's
man,
from Withings,
the
which is a great
lines were
company.
backed up just to look at it at CES.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just the U-Scan.
All right, so we've all heard about the Ring doorbell. We probably all have a Ring doorbell. They now have come out with the Ring Car Cam to provide security for your car. And this thing will record both inside the car and outside the car. And what it does, it will sleep when there's no movement. You can wake it up with, it's got motion detection on it. As long as you're connected to your home Wi-Fi, you can look at what is on your Ring Car Cam from your phone. Now, if you want it to connect when you're not connected to the home Wi-Fi, you can get their extra Ring Protect LTE subscription, which I don't know how much that is, but the device itself is $250. The Ring,
Or you can have have a cell phone modem and put it in your car, and it'll connect to the cell phone
do
modem.
that.
You can do it that way.
yeah.
Just
All right.
Mood up refrigerator.
Oh, my word.
Don't know why,
Ah,
but this was like the hottest item at
Besides the
CES.
U-Scan.
Besides the U-Scan.
Yeah.
Nothing could touch it. So all of these panels, they like change colors to fit your mood.
I love
This
it.
is all a refrigerator. And then you can tap on it and see what's inside the screen there.
I'm
And you
loving
have
it.
lots of options. And it has it all in one. Well, you can play music on it, but it's kind of like you're in a disco.
well, all joking aside, Bill, but we were talking about the Matter standard for
yeah.
connecting home devices. What every home has is a refrigerator. So I think what you're going to see is where these refrigerators are going to serve as the home base, no pun intended,
It is for me.
all of your smart devices. So it's going to have Alexa built in, or it's going to have Google Assistant built in, or whatever. Everything is going to connect because everybody's got a refrigerator. So why not?
I don't know, man.
Double
I
as your-
I don't
your-
think that's simplifying.
I-
I'm thinking
no, I
that's
love
just
it.
something else to tear up. You
I
know what
love
I'm
it.
saying? That's just
Now
something
this right here,
Oh,
this is
love
from
it.
LG, the transparent. Watch this. I didn't believe it until so it's displaying a picture, and now there his hand. You cut the picture feed. It is a transparent piece of glass that also
is a TV.
is a TV, an OLED TV. Very, very good quality.
What's
Just one of the coolest things
what's
I
the
saw.
use
See,
of it, though?
I don't know. Just to say you're the coolest person on the block, Bill.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Now,
Whatever.
this is another one. I have long been a fan, and Bill turned me on to Sonos speakers. I love, how many of you have Sonos systems, home, office, or whatever? Fantastic. So what I love is now they have done a partnership with IKEA, and they're building their speakers into home products like this Symphonics floor lamp speaker. So that just beneath the lamp is actually a Sonos speaker, which, as you know, you can operate them all together within your home, or you can zone them so that you've got living room or bedroom or den or whatever, and play different things. Really, really incredible. Not a bad price for a Sonos speaker with a lamp to boot from IKEA at $300.
Can't hide money, man. All right. But speaking of can't hide money,
Yeah.
Philip, how many Bluetooth speakers you got?
Dear Lord, between the two of us, we probably got 25.
Yeah, at least 25 between us. And now we're just like all excited as hell about the Brain X.
Yeah.
Now, do we know how good it is?
No,
It's
no.
just that people are saying it's really
That's
good.
right. Well-
So we're going to buy the hell out of this.
Yeah.
We can't wait. It'll be a race to see which one pushes the button
Yeah.
to buy it. But I'm hearing, we'll see, that this really is a game changer in Bluetooth.
So my
speakers.
pain point on Bluetooth speakers, no
Yeah.
lie, particularly the portable ones, they sound fine, but I don't get that big booming bass.
This got it.
This supposedly is going to solve that problem, so we can have parties at the Bill and Phil show, Bill.
All about that bass.
There it is. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Now, the other thing that greatly simplifies my life is not having to have cables plugging into everything.
God, no
This is the world's first 4K, you read that correctly, wireless OLED TV. No wires. The only wire is the power. You plug in the power, but everything else, there is an AV transmitter box. That's where all your brains are. And it, like you could connect your computer or your cable or satellite, whatever it is, to the transmitter box. and then it transmits the signal to the TV. Incredibly thin. You see these, you can put them in a conference room or whatever. 97-inch, incredible picture, OLED, wireless.
And there is another one we saw there. It's a little bit dangerous to even tell you about it. But it has no wires. It has batteries built in it. Okay? So it has batteries built in it, and it receives a signal the same way. And it has like suction cups on the back, and you can attach it to your wall. So you just attach it to your wall, and then of course part of the suction comes from the battery power, but I'm a little worried about it because if the battery fails, does it fall down and crash?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Don't
but
know.
there you will see them. There will be TVs out there with no wires.
TV's going insane.
Oh, hey. Speaking of insane, these one side you can see is a solar window, other side is normal. So this one on your right has solar panels built in it that you can actually use to generate electricity. And you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference. And now we think in a lot of buildings, and imagine in downtown with every damn building down there has just got nothing but glass everywhere. What if they started using solar windows instead?
Power up the whole building
You could power up a lot of the building anyway. So this is a technology that I think is coming. You're going to see more and more and more.
Very
I think it's
smart.
Pretty cool.
Very smart. Okay, this I love is called Luvic. We saw this at CES. It is a wearable neck band. And you know, one thing, there's so many things on the phone, apps that we like, and particularly when you're traveling and you go to Google Maps to get around in a city that you're unfamiliar with. And so you've got your head down on your phone, you're liable to get run over. This solves that. Not only solves that problem, but
Why don't you
also
just put the phone down?
Well, I've got to know where to go. And so what this does, it will provide audio and tactile directions. So like it'll hit you on this side, you need to turn to your right, and it'll speak to you as well. So it's good for people like Bill that goes around with their face down on their phone, but also if you happen to be vision impaired or whatever, it is a great way to allow you to access technology and be able to use it more simply. So navigate without looking at your device. Luvic.co.jp from Japan. Love it.
All right, Iron Vest Max.
Oh yeah, okay, so now, we
This
know
is
we
cool.
hear a lot of, every time you go somewhere and you want to, you go to BrainX, you want to find out about their speaker, you say, sign up for more information.
Right.
They want your email address.
They want it.
And
Bad.
then you get inundated with spam and so forth. But there's another danger. When someone gets hacked, when a big company gets hacked, what is it they're after? They're after their list of email addresses. People that have subscribed to that particular company, because then it can be used in phishing attacks. It can be used to try to
Spoof an email,
spoof an
yeah.
email and so forth. So what IronVest masked email will let you do is put a masked email in when you sign up on all these, or if you go to a trade show and you give them the masked email, not your personal. Now the masked email is stored on their system, not your personal. Now, it will still forward mail that goes to that to your personal, but that company never sees your personal email, and you can turn that link off anytime you want to.
Just like that.
And so there is a free version you can try out, so you might want to try it out. I think it's worth a shot.
Now, the Bill and Phil show, I'm the drinker, okay? Phil doesn't drink, I do. And I like,
Bet you couldn't tell.
You got a glass of whiskey, sometimes you want to put some ice in it. The problem is these home ice machines are very expensive, and you got to plumb them in, and they're liable to leak. You got all kinds of trouble. This one is enough, I believe. Frigidaire makes this. It makes 44 pounds of ice a day, sits on your countertop.
Beautiful.
It's just got a little reservoir. You put the water in it, and it makes the ice for you. You don't have to do anything. You can carry it around. And instead of getting an expensive or, a very expensive, I'm trying to think of one of the ice maker people, but the people that make those fancy ice makers, you don't need it. Just set this on your countertop. Who can eat 44 pounds of ice a day anyway?
I don't know, but what I like is it's not big old ice, it's the ice like you get at Sonic. From those Sonic drinks or whatever. Yeah.
You're so weird.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
All right. Now, I didn't believe this, so I had to come home and try it. It's no lie. If you have a Samsung device.
What, do you
a
work for
phone-
Samsung?
No. A phone or a TV, you can get a streaming platform absolutely free.
Free.
I'm talking about the same thing like with YouTube TV or what some of the other ones. I forget some of the Hulu or whatever. It has live
Netflix.
channels. It has regular channels, movie channels, and so on. Totally free. Over 200 plus live channels. But the catch is you can only use it on a Samsung device. So obviously it's an incentive for you to buy their devices. But it does work. It is free. There were some key channels, ESPN being one, that wasn't on there.
Imagine that.
Obviously. But it does have a lot of free movies and so forth. Samsung
Now,
Plus.
speaking of simplifying, okay, this is something else that's made by Samsung. I guess this is a Samsung show.
I guess
don't
it
know.
is, yeah.
But this is a bespoke AI oven. Now, bespoke is like a cool word nowadays. It's made to order, I guess,
Yeah.
or something like that. I'd never heard of it until like 2 weeks ago or something. But you put food in there, and it recognizes what food you got in there, and then it figures out how long it needs to be
That's
cooked.
what I need that. Dude,
It
I need
also
that.
has burn detection.
I need that as well. Yes.
And so you got food recognition and burn detection, and then it has a little camera inside, and you don't have to have the window on the oven or open it up to look, because if you're looking, it ain't
It
cooking.
ain't co-
So you look at your phone, and it's sending you a picture of how you're
I love
feeling.
my meatloaf right there
Yeah,
on my
there's my
phone. I
meatloaf,
love
baby.
it. Oh man, that's sweet. I gotta have that bespoke.
You need it.
All
All
right.
right. Philip insisted on putting this in here.
I love
I'm
it.
not sure why.
I love it.
But all of these little things, up these little leaves, these are solar panels.
I'm about conserving our environment, Bill, and using
Since
renewable energy. I'm all about that. You know that.
No, I didn't. Anyway, it harvests sunlight, so it's a tree that harvests sunlight. It'll actually generate electricity. But you know, regular trees do the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't really.
We got to cut them down though. And
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Gotta-
yeah.
gotta cut those suckers down.
Exactly. All right. So we're going to end this thing, Bill. None too soon, right?
Yeah, put a fork in us.
That AI bespoke oven where you're saying you're done, you're done. And we keep on going. These are the devices that are simply fun. I don't think you can use these to make more money, to be more efficient.
I'm not sure you
but
can actually use them.
you can have more fun. And Bill, have you got this?
I'm going to have to get it because I already had a request from someone for me to. Remember we rode the hover shoes one year?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think I'm going to try this. Any boot you have, you now can get you a set of inline skates and attach to it. And I'm not sure how the remote control works. I
I
don't
you can
know.
go faster. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And it's only 750 euros.
Exactly. They're euros. That's
I'm
right.
not sure that's fun, man. That's hurt.
All
This
right.
is fun.
Now, this next, expression cameras. Anybody heard of, what is that terminology where you put somebody else's face on, I forget what they call that.
I don't know.
There's a terminology or whatever.
Fake.
This,
Deep fake.
deep fake videos. So this is how you can do a deep fake video, let's say of yourself. So it's called Expression Camera. It is an app you can download, and then you give it a photo of somebody that you want to mimic, all right? And then it learns your facial, you train it with your facial features. And so then if you were to go on Zoom or you were to go on some kind of video chat, you can put the other face, you see the face on the left, and as you're talking, it looks as if it's that person doing your facial features. No lie, expression camera, kind of scary if you ask me about it.
I'm going to get me a Tony Curtis one, man. All right. There's a ton of these out there, too. And because everybody's trying
AR
to
glasses.
come up with these AR glasses, you can see how, and there are two sets we're going to show you. I don't know which one we like. This one looks pretty cool.
This one got the best reviews at CES, the TCL one.
So you've got those big old glasses on, and I look, you can get prescription lenses in
Yes,
them
you
too.
can, yes.
So you have your regular prescription lenses, but it will give you a heads-up display from your phones. It'll be like you can see, okay, you got an email or there's a phone call coming in. You will see what's on the screen of your phone.
It'll do
Heads up.
language translation.
Supposedly, if somebody's speaking in Spanish, it will give you a real-time translation in front of your eyes. But we'll see. I'm just telling you folks, there's a lot of money and effort being put into these smart glasses, and sooner or later, people will be wearing a lot of them.
These came out before the cratering of the metaverse, however, so we'll see if the metaverse makes a comeback.
And remember the first people to have those. Who was that?
Google Glass. And I
Google
had
Glass.
one. I had the
I
first
know.
one. Yep.
And you know what they call people at war?
You will remind me, I'm
you
sure.
know that?
Yeah. What was it?
Glass holes.
That's what I thought, yeah. All right, well,
So, I
I
don't
will
know.
tell you, your smarty smart pants, if you've got this, EV Scope Equinox 2.
This is cool.
It is a telescope, but it's not like a traditional telescope. You can actually use this in an urban area. If you live downtown, you have all the light pollution, you still can use it. And so you don't actually look through a viewfinder on the telescope. You put the telescope out on the balcony or wherever, and then you look at it through your phone. And it will cancel out the light pollution and actually show you that's an actual rendering right there of one of the things that it saw. For $2,500, it better show me Pluto and beyond, Bill. That's what I'm
Golly,
saying.
man, you can't
Yeah.
hide money. Everything in here you put in here is expensive. All right, this is the other set of the AR glasses. Now this one's a little more different. This is a different kind of display, as I understand the way it works. You sit back from it, and it goes. It's not really a heads up. It's like it's out in the room,
Like watching a
out in
movie or
front of you.
whatever. Yeah.
I mean, but look, if this works, it's the same as a 201-inch theater, and it's not bad. $379.
Go ahead and buy. Get two of them, Bill. Get two.
One
yeah.
for you, one for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll do
All
it.
right. This is the Kaibo Flex. We've always liked the bone conduction earbuds because it does not obstruct your ear canal. And so these use the open ear audio standard, and it does through bone conduction. It will send vibrations through your cheekbones, and you won't believe this until you try it. Has anybody ever tried a bone conduction earphone?
there we go.
It actually works. I've actually tried one of these on, and you could actually hear. And what they tout on this, I'm not sure it's 100% accurate, but they tout no sound leakage. In other words, even though it's open ear, you're not losing any of the sound quality. And so $119 is not a bad price for these, particularly like workout situations or running or whatever. These are great. Bone conduction earphones, Kaibo.
All right, this is another big thing. It was at CES. There's another refrigerator. Of course, they love them. You can knock on it and the door will open for you. It has an auto open door.
I love that.
Basically, kind of like Tony Orlando and Dawn,
Yeah. Oh,
knock, two, time. And
That was
and
before
it'll
my
open
time,
for
but
you.
anyway, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And it has a child lock, and when you knock on it, you can have it where it'll then open up and show you what's inside.
Beautiful. I love these
but it's
high-tech
just-
refrigerators. I love
It's
it.
something else to tear up.
There
is
you
all
go.
I'm saying.
Well, this is something else that you can
Now,
tear up, Bill.
This one I like.
This is the singing machine. We've all seen the car karaoke. What is that? The late
Car
night guy.
karaoke.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his name? What is his name? British guy. What is
Yeah.
it? James
Corbin.
Corbin.
Yeah, yeah. So
Thank
now
you.
you can host your
She gets a
own
prize.
carpool karaoke with the singing machine. It's an in-car karaoke experience. There's a wireless connection to your FM tuner. It's got voice cancellation for the lead voice, or in this case, in Bill's voice, you can cancel out, and you can get a second mic and do duets. So maybe we need to do a duet
I think we do.
with Bill and Phil.
Yeah.
Go.
Boy, that'll be great. But here's what's great. I know we were all about that small form factor light to carry around.
Oh, go to the other end.
But now let's go to the world's biggest laptop. How about that one? 43-inch screen. Look how happy she is. You know,
I
it's
thought
only
that
100 pounds.
Bill sent this to me, and I thought it was a joke. It's not. They built this for like a Guinness World Book of Records.
And it works.
Deal. Yeah, it's an
They
actual
cut it,
working
customized
laptop.
a piece of plywood to put on there.
Well, forget that, Bill. I just want me a very large monitor and these curved ultra wide, the Philips 45 ultra wide, 45 inches. That is what you need for a big monitor on your desktop. That's all you need right there with all the ports.
does that thing
And
cost?
includes a KVM switch as well. Don't know what it costs. Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
All right.
All right, now we were hoping we could ride this in, but
Yeah.
it's a prototype and hadn't got it yet.
We can't buy it yet.
But it is really cool. You deflate it and it's just tiny. It just folds up into
Put it in your
nothing.
backpack.
It's like a backpack,
Yep.
and you've got a scooter. you can just ride around, but it's still in the concept
It's
stage.
something else to ride around the gulch to claim the sidewalk back from the scooter people, right?
Yep. So,
So we couldn't get the Poemo in here in time. So I told Bill, I said,
we need something else.
you know, one thing, you know, I am sort of semi-retired, and I told Bill, I said, with my
Semi?
extra time, I've always wanted to learn to play a musical instrument, but I don't want to spend the years and years it takes going through training. So I tried to find an instrument that I could learn to play like in an afternoon, like in 2 minutes. I found it. It is the Automaton, and this is straight from, now Bill, I just gave this to you just a few minutes before we got here
I know,
today.
but you've been practicing.
Yeah, I've been practicing, but even so, you have not had much time on it.
No.
So I want you to demonstrate how this thing works.
So here we go.
All right. Oh, I don't. If y'all can see what he's got on his screen right here, it actually sounds more like this. Actually, I bought this sight unseen, and
But see, after
you've got
you
the different
practice-
tones, and then you've got the vibrato right here. Anyway, it's the
After you
Automaton.
practice, you can do this.
But yeah, exactly. As long as you've got a Samsung phone, right? Oh my goodness, that's all we got, folks.
Yeah.
We'll take any
Come up
questions
here,
you
you
got.
look at anything.
Yeah. You want to try anything?
Try it out the new thing here.
Any questions? Yes.
This isn't a fun thing like that. Password storage, I know you guys talked about this before.
Yep. I still use, they've got some bad press lately, but I still use LastPass. I've used it for many years. LastPass. Bill, I think you use Dashlane, correct?
Dashlane, also Keeper. Nowadays, I think a lot of people are saying Keeper may be actually the best. And the reason Keeper's pretty good, which I like, you can have one subscription, but you can have different members of your family all store their passwords on there that you can share them with one another or not share them. And it's really secure. And just as a part of an ethics instruction, have you read how LastPass got hacked? Do you know? They had an employee who clicked on a bad link, and when the employee did, whoever put that malware on there installed a keylogger on that employee's phone. That employee hacked into the company that's supposed to be protecting your passwords. That's what happened. So don't click on a link you don't know about. That's all I'm saying. And if you want to come up here and play this little booger,
And the reason and LastPass, even despite them being hacked, and that's not a good thing, it could happen to anybody, but your password is not stored in clear text. It is encrypted. So if I lose my last password, I can't call them and say, hey, what is
Fix
it? It's not stored on their server. So,
and an FBI agent taught me this trick, and I got to say, I think it's a pretty good idea. That one password, make it complicated, write it on a piece of paper, and you have a Bible around the house, put it in the Bible, because nobody ever looks in the Bible anymore.
of course, now we just broadcast that to all of our CLE users.
They'll go
So
look
if you
in
break
your
into
house
Bill's
for a
house,
Bible.
go for the Bible. Go for the Bible.
I'll put it in the Huck fence. Thanks,
All right,
folks.
thank y'all
If you got
very
any
much.
questions, you want to check out this monitor, come on.
You guys want the ChatGPT?
Yeah, let's read it. Let's read the poem.
All right. Oh, Phil and Bill, what tech prowess so grand. Tech show doth fill the airways of all the land. Their knowledge vast, their passion unbridled. In tech news and gadgets, they are well styled.
Woo!
Damn.
How about that?
Yeah, this is in Shakespeare, right? So from phones to laptops, they doth expound. Their insights on tech doth astound. In plain language, they do explain the mysteries of tech in ne'er a strain. Their humor sharp, their wit so keen. Their banter flows like a gentle stream. Their camaraderie, this is good.
This is great.
Camaraderie like that of old friends. Their rapport a joy that never ends.
Damn.
Oh, Phil and Bill, your show is such a treat. Your passion for tech is oh so sweet. We thank thee for your knowledge so rare and for the joy your show doth share.
Awesome. Hey, pretty good. There you go.
That
There you
damn
go.
chat, that thing is stupid, man.
Oh, no, I love
Somebody-
it. I love it. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Somebody
Pretty cool.
needs to work on that thing.
All right. Thank you all very much.